Amy's here.
All right, are we good to go?
Hello.
Hi. All right, well, I think this is my... Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Samuel Marty, and I am pleased to be your host for today's session in the National Links to Learning virtual series. Whether you're joining us for the first time or you've been with us for a few sessions already, thank you for making the time to be here today. We know how busy your days can be, and we truly appreciate your commitment to ongoing learning and community development. These sessions are created with you in mind, First Nations economic development officers, land managers, and elected leaders, who are working every day to build strong, self-determined communities. Let's begin by sharing a bit about what National Links to Learning is all about. This series is presented in partnership with Procurement Assistance Canada. It is designed as a practical 1-hour forum for learning, connection, and skill building. Every week, we bring together Indigenous professionals from across the country to explore tools, strategies, and success stories that can support economic and land development at a local level. What makes this space special is that it's not just about technical knowledge, it's also about growing together through peer learning and shared experiences. Now, to go over a few housekeeping notes, a couple reminders before we begin. If you'd like to contribute or ask a question, please use the raise hand function or type in the chat and I'll be watching. Feel free to grab a notepad and something to drink and maybe write down some questions in preparation towards the Q&A session. And don't forget, when you complete this post-session evaluation, you'll be entered into our monthly draw for a $100 gift card. We really do value your feedback. It helps us make each session much better. We've got some exciting topics ahead in the series, including Invest in Canada with Tamika Jamil next week, and coming soon, our regional showcase of the Atlantic region. Today's topic, Cando certification. Our session today is focused on Cando's TAED and PAED certification, a nationally recognized credential in Indigenous economic development. Created in 1991, this program is designed by Indigenous professionals for Indigenous professionals. It recognizes the knowledge, cultural values, and practical skills that are essential in leading meaningful and sustainable economic development in our communities. It's more than just certification. It's about building your confidence, credibility, and capacity as a community builder. Today's speaker, we're fortunate to be joined by Geraldine Potts, the certification coordinator for the Western Canada with Cando. Originally from Paul First Nations and a proud Stoney Ishka woman, she from Alexis Nakota Sioux Nation, now based in Edmonton, Alberta. Deeply rooted in her culture and fluent in her language, Geraldine brings traditional knowledge into all areas of her work. With extensive experience in administrative, Indigenous governments, and community development, Geraldine has worked across all levels of government and Indigenous organizations. Her diverse background spans entrepreneurship, business development, mental health, addictions, and curriculum design. She holds a Bachelor of Administration and a Master's of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies from Athabasca University, with a focus on community development. Outside of her professional work, she enjoys competitive pool and teaching children and grandchildren about her Indigenous ways of life. Geraldine is passionate about youth empowerment and is dedicated to advancing Indigenous economic development through education and mentorship. And without further ado, we'll hand it off to Geraldine. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Samuel, for that wonderful introduction. I just wanted to, before we start, just to kind of give a thank you, a gratitude, just to being here for today and having this life that we have, the life that I have, and the journey that I'm on. So if you just bear with me a few minutes. Ha dewa katapa isnishinige wana ha bana ga kumna. Makuchenin khagcho ga kumna isnishinige wana. Ogigem na ha wana pa rugadam in tashiga na pijakne. uçagene watijemne neishish. Tacha asimi ikene chagjichatuk. Shnishininge one na kumbane. Hey, hi. Thank you. That's just a short prayer giving thanks for the day and asking for opportunity for those attending this session to capture something that might help you in your journey in whatever work you're doing. But I will get started with the, oh, sorry. We also have my cohort Amy Salt online from Eastern Canada. Cando has 2 certification coordinators. I work in the Western region from Manitoba to Pacific Coast. Amy works from Ontario to the East Coast. So we'll just let Amy introduce herself before we get started. Amy?
Hi, everyone. I don't know if you can see me because I only see Geri on my screen. But thanks for joining. I'm excited to hear Geri's presentation, and I look forward to working with some of you in the future.
Thank you. Okay, so there was some in the introductory, one of the things that we do, Amy and I both do, is we also work with in certification, accreditation, creating partnerships, capacity building at Cando, and then graduation, and also in research. We do a lot of research in education and training, making sure that Cando has all their education leveled up to the ongoing trends out in the industry, right? In the economic development industry and things that are coming up and new stuff that's coming up. And one of the things that we notice and we're researching is micro-credentials. Cando has a virtual EDO site, and we are building that virtual EDO site with a lot of micro-credential courses that people can take online. You can go on there as part of the self-study, and you can go on there and do all the exercises and activities that'll be on that site once it's completed. But we also work with 3 committees, which is the Standing Committee on Education and Research. We work with the Accreditation Committee, and we also work with the Certification Subcommittee. And we did the land acknowledgement where we're located. Our head office is located on the Treaty 6 territory of the Enoch Cree Nation, which is called the Muskogee land, people of the land, but it's also called Land of the Medicine. This area was well known for medicine gathering. So people used to come to this territory and gather medicines. And the medicines are still there. And then also just a bit about Cando as a national organization, we are membership driven. So if you're ever interested in registering and getting a membership, please go on our website at edo.ca and click on the membership link, and it shows you the payment options on how you can obtain a membership. So getting to the presentation, if we can click on the slide number 4. If we can upload the slide and then click on number 4. Page 4. You can just go page down. Okay, so this talks a bit about Indigenous competency and economic development, right? It refers to the knowledge and skills and understanding that is necessary to effectively work in an Indigenous community. When you learn these competencies that Cando offers for certification, you learn about economic growth, sustainability, and it also empowers you. But part of how we do the training, community training in the communities that we go to, we make sure that we include Indigenous instructors. These are people who have been in the industry for years, so they have a lot of experience in business development, business admin, business management, finance, that kind of thing. So they come to you with all this knowledge that they're willing to share when they come and they do the training. So Cando is governed by a board of directors from across Canada, and each specializes in economic development and leadership. And how our moving our wheels forward, the direction comes from the board.
I think we may be having some technical errors, so just hold off with us for a couple more minutes and I'm sure we'll have it sorted. Thank you for your patience. I suppose I'll take this time to maybe remind the audience to maybe write down some questions or maybe some concerns in terms of what we're learning today. Don't be afraid to speak, don't be afraid to ask. This is a very safe space and it's a learning environment. So once again, thank you all for being here and don't be afraid to use your voice. It's powerful. Also, a quick shout out to Devin Felker. Love that guy.
Tecnologia.
To answer your question there, Alyssa, in terms of being shortlisted for this event or maybe for the certification? Oh, for the event. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe the first portion to come through as we've been experiencing larger audience members, so maybe it might have gotten too full. So that's something we can definitely bring up to Tara and Jessica once they return. It seems like a few of you have experienced that. Yeah, we'll be sure to raise that question come time.
Hello.
All right, we got you back now. Perfect.
Hello. Hi. Sorry about that. Our whole office internet just shut down. Geri will. Everyone's still on? Okay, awesome. Okay, we'll wait for Geri and then we'll continue the presentation. Yeah, we're back online. Sorry.
In the meantime, we did have some questions arise. So we had a Melissa question. She noticed that she had been shortlisted and might have asked what that meant for her, along with some other people.
This webinar has nothing to do with the EDYS. It was just an invite in case anyone was interested in participating in this webinar. It has nothing to do with the EDYS.
Okay, EDYS. They just mentioned for
Yeah.
the event, so I was like,
I think there
word?
was a miscommunication. So just so everybody knows, it was just
Perfect.
an
Well,
option
thank you
to
for
attend
that.
today.
Woo, we're back. We have a very low Wi-Fi broadband here, so sometimes it just kind of does what it wants to do. So we're on the next page, go into Cando competencies. Or you could stay there, but Cando has 11 competencies. They used to have 16 competencies, but because the EDOs came together and made a decision that these were not meeting the requirements in their roles in the communities, Cando underwent curriculum redesign and they developed 11 new competencies. These are the new competencies. So when I say competency, how is competency and certification connected? So when you apply for certification, what we do as certification coordinators is we go through each one of these competencies and match it to any courses that you have taken in university or colleges and to see how they fit. And if we don't find education courses that transfer into the competencies, then we look at your experience, we look at your resume, and we try to find ways to fill those gaps. And then if we can't fill the gaps with your education, your training, and your experience, then we go to a narrative. So if you want to go to the next page. Next. So how does accreditation work? All these things I'm talking about, the certification, accreditation, and the competencies, they're all connected. So when we contact post-secondary institutes to discuss accreditation, we look for programs that match the same thing. We look for programs that match the candidate competencies. And when you take that accredited program at that post-secondary institute, and when you finish that program, like say, for example, the community, the CED, social development, the whole program, when you finish that program, you automatically become eligible for the Cando's first level certification, which is the TAED certification. So that's how that accreditation works. Post-secondary institutes apply to Cando to have their courses accredited. And once they're approved and matched, then we develop an agreement, an accreditation agreement. So the breakdown on how accreditation works is establishing competencies. There's that word again, competencies, accrediting programs, meeting requirements, And then looking at the levels of certification and maintaining the certification once you are approved. If you're approved through an accredited program for your first level certification, what happens is the institute that you graduated from will cover your fees for the first 4 years of your certification. Because TAED expires every 4 years, and then PAED is a professional development after you get your TAED, but you still have to take courses. So, and they also cover your membership for the first year. And then the benefits of this is that Cando certification benefits individuals by demonstrating a standardized knowledge base and skill set. It benefits employers by ensuring qualified hires, and benefits Indigenous communities by fostering capacity building and economic growth. When sometimes what happens with post-secondary institutes is that if they discontinue a program that's accredited, what happens is that terminates the relationship or the partnership with that post-secondary institute until that program comes back in another faculty. An example I'll use is the Simon Fraser University has a CED certificate after students achieve the MBA at that university. However, because it was housed in a different faculty and that faculty could no longer support that program got suspended at Simon Fraser University. Next. Next slide. So what is certification? This talks about certification is recognizing of your experience, your culture. Go back one more. Cultural integration, unique learning environment, and career advancement.
Oh.
So Cando has 2 levels of certification, which is the TAED and the PAED. And then through that, we look at your PLAR process in your education. If you have taken courses in business, economics, finance, business management, natural resources, or community economic development to fulfill the competencies. Next.
Yeah, just one at a time. I can do this.
So this is the first level of certification. The technician level is the first level of certification, and it's kind of like an entry level. And what we do in that process is you email us, you send us an email, say I'm interested in TAED. So what we do is we'll send you an application form, and we'll ask you to submit your resume and all your transcripts to support your application. And then we do a PLAR review. We'll take a look at your review. We'll take a look at your documents and let you know if there is opportunity to meet the 11 competencies that we talked about. And then if there are gaps, then we'll ask you for other information. So that's how this works. And this certificate expires every 4 years and you have to renew it. And when you say renew, which means you have to attend a Cando event at least once in those 4 years. Because you get credits for that, you get points. And every time you attend any kind of economic development event or conference or even deliver a workshop that's ECDEV related, you get points for that. And then we get you to complete a certificate holder information form at the end of your 4 years. And then you have to submit that with your renewal application. Again, you have to be a Cando member to apply for TAED certification. So that's the first thing we ask for is, are you a member and are you willing to complete the membership form? Next slide. So PAED, the Cando certification level 2 is PAED, which is the professional Aboriginal economic development. This can be earned after maintaining your TAED certification for a minimum of 5 years. And again, PAED expires every 5 years as well and subject to renewal. But you have to qualify to get the PAED. You have to have the TAED, plus you have to be working in the economic development field and also doing professional development training and that kind of thing. So recently we worked with NALMA and a partnership with NALMA, getting lands ready for economic development course was developed. So we're doing a pilot run of this course for Cando in September. And our applications are full right now for that date. However, NALMA will be offering this course in their regular schedule starting next year. So if you're interested in taking that course, you'll have to look up NALMA's website and sign up through NALMA. Next slide. So the benefits of Cando certification, it's national recognition of your experience and education as an Indigenous Economic Development Officer. It empowers you to make meaningful impact to economic development while fostering personal and professional growth. It provides opportunity for you to develop creative solutions to economic development challenges, and you become part of a national network of economic development professionals. And it gives you the confidence to work as a professional abiding by recognized national standards. Currently, Cando has a total of 657 graduates, TAED and PAED certificate holders. And this is a running total. We collect the numbers every year after graduation. And this year right now, we're looking at 29 graduates. Once the applications are completed and all the information has been approved. Our graduation this year will be at our national conference in Quebec City, at the Hilton in Quebec City. So if you're in the Quebec area, please sign up for our conference and come and attend the conference and see what Cando is all about. And Cando also to date, I've been tracking numbers. Cando has also trained up to 338 plus individuals in accredited or professional development learning through the delivery of 115 events. This is also a running total we track. Next. So this just shows you a picture of our last year's grads. We had, I believe, 35 individuals who graduated last year. And because of travel restrictions and whatnot, some people were not able to attend, but the majority did attend. And these are the people who graduated at our 30th annual conference in Calgary. So our mission is to support economic development officers in whatever capacity we can in terms of helping them find appropriate training so that they can do their jobs well in the communities. Next slide. Cando scholarships. So Cando has 2 scholarships. And I was actually, when I first came to Cando in 2022, I was really surprised that, our Cando members have opportunity to apply for these scholarships. And the NEEF scholarship, if you want to go to the next slide, the NEEF scholarship is actually, the application date is coming up. September 30th is the deadline for that scholarship. And that gives applicants $3,000. And usually there's 6 Indigenous students selected from across Canada. And you have to be in any year of your 2-year diploma, 4-year degree study in business, again, economics, business finance, management, natural resources, or community economic development. And we have had some very young candidates in the last 2 years who are pursuing degrees and going on and getting into masters in community economic development. So that's really inspiring to see when our young people are going those routes, and that reminds us that, this economic development isn't just something that we talk about, it's something that's real and that's happening in the communities. So CIBC NEEF scholarships is the next one. Application deadlines. These applications are done through Inspire Funding. So you'd have to go to the inspirefunding.ca/Cando website link, and it'll show you where the applications are. And the criteria is different there. Inspire does all the selections, and then they send us the letter of interest or letter of intent from the applicants that they selected. And then again, we go through a process of reviewing and approving and determining what's a good fit for individuals, people who are just starting or people who are at the end of their program but need that extra funding boost to finish their program. So we look at all those kinds of things as well. And I believe last year we had eight people who received, yeah, there were six people who received the EIBC scholarship. Really fast, even though we lost a few minutes on the website, but next slide is just more for Q&A. I guess we're at that point. Amy, is there anything you wanted to add? Is Amy online?
I'm here. No, I think you did great.
Did you want to add anything for Eastern Canada in terms of things that are coming up in economic development?
Yeah, I'm just currently reviewing some applications that have been received, and next month we'll go to the OFNIDA starting their new program. And that's all I have on my plate at the moment.
Okay, so just to mention also, if you are in the Thunder Bay area, OFNIDA is the Association for the Ontario region and of all the Indigenous EDOs across Ontario. They're having their AGM in Thunder Bay. So if you're in the area and if you have opportunity to attend, I would encourage you to look up their website and attend their conference, and you'll see what ECDEV is about in the Ontario region. And then if you're interested in going the lands management route, NALMA will be having their conference coming up pretty quick in I believe it's in New Brunswick, but I'll have to look up the website. I'll need a conference website information in the chat.
Sorry, I missed
Okay,
part of
that's all I have. I mean, if there's any questions or further discussion, we have a lot of time.
Perfect. Well, I'll take this time now to throw in a little bit of feedback. Thank you so much, Geraldine, for sharing your knowledge, experience, and passion with us today. Your insights into the certification program and your commitment to uplifting Indigenous professionals are truly appreciated. You've helped us see how certification can support both personal growth and community-driven economic development. We're grateful for your time and the meaningful work you continue to do. So once again, thank you.
Hey,
Um,
thank you.
Yeah, so just kind of going off of what Geraldine had mentioned, let's now take this time to open the floor to questions. So feel free to raise your hand or drop your questions in the chat. And don't be afraid to ask. Maybe I can throw in one just to encourage some words or maybe something to think about. So, what's the first step someone should take if they're interested in after today's session?
So the first step you can take after today's session is send us an email and say, I'm interested in learning more about certification. And then we will start there and send you information. And then we'll send you an actual interview assessment form so that you can respond to the interview questions and determine for yourself if that's something that you're doing or something that you're interested in doing. And then that'll help us determine how we can move forward.
Wonderful. This is also a good time to mention if for connection base. So a part of the National Links to Learning is building connection and networks. So don't be afraid to add Geraldine on LinkedIn or maybe even ask for her email and we can provide that into the chat.
Yep, I'm putting my email in the chat, but also just to talk a bit more about accredited learning. When Cando has an event that we're proposing, for example, at our Alberta Links to Learning, on the first day, which is I think October the 6th, we will be offering accredited learning at that event. When we do accredited learning, we normally work with NVIT because the courses accredited through NVIT match the Cando competencies. So when they come here to offer a course, deliver a course for Cando at an event, what happens is you register for the course, you take the course, you do, it's a 45-hour course, by the way. So you do the 1 day in person for 8 hours, and then you do the 37 hours online and through self-study and completing assignments and that kind of thing. But the 37 hours, how it works is just not sitting in front of the computer for 37 hours. You're actually going online in a Zoom link for 1 to 2 hours on a Monday, usually on a Monday. He doesn't do it, the instructor doesn't do weekend teaching. So it'll either be during the week, Monday to Friday. So it'll be 1 day during that week, and you'll sit online for 1 to 2 hours with all the students who are registered for credit. You're only allowed to be part of that group if you're registering for credit through NVIT. And then you go on there and the instructor will teach you, talk about your assignments, whatever it is that you need to do, and give you the time.
I think we might have lost. I think we lost you just a little bit there.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, you'll be given a schedule on when you need to log into the Zoom link, and the instructor will send you the link, and you'll complete all your courses usually in about a month. It takes about a month to complete all the assignments, all your marks uploaded. And you can do that every time we do an accredited learning. You can come and take the course. You can register and you can come and take the course. If you're not part of the Links to Learning, I think there's $150 fee to take the course, but that's very minimal. Because if you were to go a different route and go directly to NVIT and take it, well, the cost is much more there because you have to follow their entrance requirements, right? Their registration requirements. So we encourage people to attend if you have opportunity to attend a Cando event at the conference in Quebec City on October the 27th. We will be offering another accredited learning at that event. And then we also have BC Links to Learning coming up in December in Vancouver. I think it's December 1st. We'll be offering another accredited learning. So if you're a Cando follower, if you're a Cando member and you follow all of Cando events, in 1 year, you can get 3 of those courses down. Register and take the course and get the courses completed. So yeah, we encourage people memberships to to attend the events. If you've taken courses over the years and you only have 1 or 2 courses to take to complete your course requirements for the certification, and if you're going that route, we encourage you to attend and take that course when we offer it. So what I do in part of my role is to track applications, people who attend, people who register for courses. I list all their names, I list all the courses they've taken, and I check off what they might be missing. We have an individual from the Yukon territory who completed a lot since 2014, had started taking courses, attending Cando events and taking accredited learning courses. So I tracked all her information, and she actually only needs 3 courses to finish and get her certification. So I did get in touch with her. Like, this is the thing, right? Quality assurance. We have to make sure that we're meeting all the needs of all Cando former members and also people interested in certification. So we follow up with them, and that's what I did with this individual. And she's actually going through the process of completing the application, submitting her resume, her transcripts, and she's completing the narratives for those 3 competencies. And then when she submits all that, we'll do the review and we'll send it to our certification subcommittee to review and approve. Since I've been here, I haven't seen anyone's application get rejected when you've applied for TAED certification. So our certification subcommittee actually works hard to try to make sure that everyone who applies meets the competencies fully, but also gets accepted. So that's how that works. Does that explain your question?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any other questions?
If we don't have any immediate questions from the audience, I'll throw you one more. So for someone who's unsure if they're qualified enough to apply, what would you say?
Well, we would ask you, if you work in the EDO field, do you work as, even in business development, right? And we'll ask, what your role is, and again, we will send you that interview assessment form. And, we'll have you fill that out. And then we go from there, we'll call you and kind of guide you through a process. So that's how that works. We respond as quickly as we can to any inquiries that we get from individuals interested, because we know that certification, once the application process starts, it can take up to 3 months to get your application approved, and sometimes longer depending on the availability of the certification subcommittee. So we encourage people, if you will need to get started, well, let's get started and let's begin this process. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, we'll give it a bit of a buffer time to, and once again, encourage the audience to ask away. And if you feel now is not the time, you now have Geraldine you now have Geraldine's email along with Amy's. So if you're not ready for your questions now, be sure to reach out to them and they'll be more than happy to assist you in whatever questions you may have. So we'll give it 5 minutes, maybe less, to allow someone to speak from the audience.
I'm trying to get the NALMA conference schedule. So it's actually in Halifax. Sorry, I said it was in New Brunswick. It's in Nova Scotia. It's in Halifax, October 21st to the 23rd. But I'm going to click on this link and I'll put the link into the chat box so that people have a copy of it.
Very quickly, I'll answer Emma Taylor's question. So she had mentioned, if we haven't done any courses yet, but it's something that we're interested in looking into, what's the best way to start?
The best way to start is by contacting us, and then we'll have a discussion. What area are you from, Taylor? New Brunswick. Okay, so New Brunswick is a good example because in New Brunswick, we have a partnership with the Cape Breton University. And if you are taking any courses at Cape Breton University in the Bachelor of Business Admin, you can actually have those courses accredited. Because we do have an accreditation with Cape Breton University for the Bachelor of Admin and the MBA in CED. So the Master of Business Administration and Community Economic Development, but there's also another underlink, especially an Indigenous component. They did add an Indigenous component to the accreditation to make sure that we're capturing and staying true to who we are as an organization supporting Indigenous economic development, is capturing that Indigenous capacity in that curriculum. I can, if you can email me, I will send you the information regarding Cape Breton University and the contact person. Okay?
Wonderful. Thank you for your answer, Geraldine, and thank you for your question, Emma. It's truly appreciated. As one takeaway I'd mention is to reach out, just ask a question, and even if you don't want to go through the email portion of it, ask for a virtual meeting. That's what I've done to expand my networks into the Cando, and the Cando network has been more than happy to meet with me on a one-on-one discussion where I could ask away on many levels as a young entrepreneur and a young economic development worker in my nation. So that's the first step, is reaching out.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just putting my phone number in here. And I'm putting the 1-800 number in there so that it's toll free when you're calling. 1-800 463. So that's the number you can call. Again, I work out of the head office in Enoch. And we do have a satellite office in Ottawa, but it's not, I don't think we have a lot of our information at that office, so we mostly deal with information requests through email. So you can either email me or you can email Amy. If you're in the eastern region, perhaps reaching out to Amy, and then she can respond and do what she needs to do from that end. Okay.
Wonderful. Do we have any final questions? I think we're getting close to our closing remarks here very soon. So now would be the time to reach out. Don't be afraid to ask. Either type it in the chat or raise your hand or just go ahead and speak.
If any of you are attending the youth summit, we also do a presentation on the Wednesday, I believe. I think it's on August the 20th or the 21st. We'll be doing a short presentation on certification, and we can have additional information there if you need information, paper information.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's safe to say we can go ahead and go with our closing remarks today. And you now have all of our contacts. Feel free to reach out. We're here at any time. But yeah, I think we'll now begin closing up. Thank you again, Geraldine, for sharing
Thank
your
you.
knowledge and passion
Thank you.
for supporting Indigenous economic development professionals. Your insights have shown us that certification isn't just a title, it's a pathway to deeper engagement, greater recognition, and stronger leadership within our communities. And thank you to all of you who joined today. Your presence and participation help make this space what it is: supportive, inspiring, and focused on growth. Before we go, don't forget to fill out a short evaluation you'll receive by email. It only takes a few minutes, and your input helps us to keep improving. Plus, it enters you into our monthly draw for a $100 gift card. Be sure to take a moment and complete it. Next week's preview. We hope to see you at our next session on June 18th, where we'll be joined by Tamika Jamil, Director of Federal Partnerships and Strategy at Invest in Canada. It's going to be a great one. Don't miss it. Thanks again, everyone. Wishing you a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Oh, very quickly, we do have one last question in the chat. Landon Morin. Just to make sure I understand clearly, this wasn't fully related to the Economic Development Youth Summit, but you guys will present during the event.
Yeah, I just responded we'll do a short presentation. I don't think my presentation's no more than an hour. I think it's like 15 minutes, talk real fast. But yeah, we'll be there talking a bit about certification at the youth summit.
All right. Well, thanks again, everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take
Thank
care.
you all. Have a good day.
Bye.